Because I think we did the draft before he even signed.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was
For
for Chelsea.
Yeah. I picked him up late.
How do you know that, buddy?
Well, we can check.
we can check. Anyway, good morning, good afternoon, good night. You're back with Let 'em Shoot. We're back. Special day. We're doing a different kind of episode, but first to my very right.
It's boy MJ, Born Africa Gang. Blessed to be here. Life's good. Arsenal, great results. Keep on ticking along, man. To my very left.
Guys cheat.
My left.
Blame Samuel. Back again. Liverpool decided they can play when there's nothing to play for.
True.
Thanks,
Mentality
boys.
monsters.
Thanks, boys. Thanks for that.
Bunch of cowards, if you ask me.
To my left,
Chaos Kid. Back at it, another episode. It's a great win.
you're like Drake. Keep calling himself the boy. That's you,
Boy.
Chaos Kid. Yeah, the kid.
Bud's
Yeah,
24 though.
Yeah, Drake's like 40.
38.
Yeah, great win on the weekend. We go
Yeah,
again.
Drake's old, man.
No time to celebrate. Sorry if you guys were looking for an intro today, but it's just what I expected, really, against West Ham. We've beaten Tottenham 2-0, West Ham 2-0. So, yeah, good week. Midweek game and then follow-up game straight away on the Saturday night. Or Sunday. Fucking great
Midweek?
results.
Oh,
We had-
double game week.
Yeah, we had Tottenham, and then
You guys have double game week, though, coming up, don't you?
now we had it. Didn't we?
No, there's another one.
Oh, Brighton, yeah. We got Brighton midweek.
I was gonna make the most fucking fuck joke just then, but we can keep going because you said we beat. You try and piece together my joke, ready?
I did.
Without me saying.
Already.
Yeah, did you?
I didn't even hear it.
I didn't either.
I want a piece.
So he said, we beat
Tottenham.
Tottenham to 0. We beat
Oh my god.
West Ham to 0.
Oh my god.
We do a muck-up episode.
Jesus.
I'm king of muck-up.
Brother, you get it? Yeah, you got it.
If we're doing muck-ups, I'm king of muck-up.
Oh my
They don't call me Chaos Kid for nothing.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I hear you.
But yeah, Tottenham came, spanked them. Did you hear that? Did you hear the chant? We hate Tottenham.
Hectic. Samir Aman in the comments from last week said Chaos Kid indiscriminately, I don't know how to pronounce that, caused chaos in every segment. By far the best Chaos Kid performance to date. Last episode. He said, I want to issue an apology to a team that I've been hate watching the entire season. Arsenal have been phenomenal. True.
Finally, man.
I think True. I think Aston Villa will perform better in Champions League next season than Newcastle did this season. Yeah, I agree.
They
should be.
Their manager's good defensively.
Yeah, they should
so
be.
True.
Amir, thank you.
Top
And
competition
you
manager.
should have just
as well.
stopped after
Yeah.
you said, I want to apologize.
Yeah. David Jones, shout out the store, said people have made a point that because it's Klopp's last dance in the Prem, many teams, e.g. Everton, in the last derby are more motivated to beat Liverpool. What do you guys think?
Thanks, David Jones.
I mean,
We don't do
Everton's
free
safe,
promo.
so I reckon they just relax.
Mm.
I mean, they won't want to lose, but
They did want to derail Liverpool from winning the league.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what Tottenham and Chelsea would try to do to Arsenal, but
Yeah.
didn't work.
Both failed.
Obviously. Baines says the Euros merchant at Spuds muttered, "You'd love to see it."
Spurs, I think he meant.
Yeah, no, that's what they call them.
Spuds.
Yeah.
I swear.
Bainesy,
Like,
what's he doing these days?
I'm
Do you
gonna
take
ask.
pens or
Yeah, I
free
think
kicks?
so. Free kicks.
free kicks, pens?
Dakota said, "Bet Young the Bud type of guy." Bet Young the Bud type of guy.
Oh, he's American,
I
bro.
bet young Bud is the type of guy.
I bet young bird.
Like a young
Type of
Bud
guy.
is the type of guy
To push a kid in school and say, "I apologize, the ground was there." Yeah, that is something Bud has probably
Do
said
that?
before.
Muhammad probably do that though.
Nah, he's a good kid now.
Yeah, facts. Guys, today
So
we
how
are
we do
doing
that?
special episode. Since everyone's results kind of went the way
Successfully.
they wanted, there's not too much to talk about here. Chelsea had a couple big wins, so shout them out. But if you want, you can do a little thing
I did it in the
intro.
yeah.
True.
Great results. But
True.
yeah.
Samuel, Liverpool won for the first time in 5 games. Happy?
Is it? Nah, we beat Fulham.
Okay.
We beat Fulham the other game,
All right.
the other day. So it's
Good.
not first in. What are you laughing at?
And Arsenal win again as usual, so there's nothing too much to talk about. But we're doing under 21s.
Oh.
Best under 21 players in the Prem episode. Bud has his own top 10. Samuel has his own top 10. Jeremy has his own top 10. Mike has his own top 10. This is throwback to old Let 'em Shoot episodes.
When we used to do
when we used to
lists.
bring our own top 10s and do
Yeah.
top 10 this, top 10 that. So the parameters were they have to be 21, while max 21 while the season's on. That's the
Max
only
is not
parameter.
21.
Best under 21 players in the Prem.
Are we not going to talk about Nunes?
We can do it at the end.
Talk about what?
I don't
Darwin
think-
deleting all his Liverpool
Oh,
photos.
yeah.
That's what he's talking
Chaos kid.
about. Chaos the
It is a
kid.
bit weird though.
It is weird.
80 mil, 2 seasons.
Yeah,
He said, give
It's
me my
rough.
money.
it's rough. We're doing best under 21s. So, Bud, you're going to start. You're going to give us your honorable mention. Actually, no. You can do the honorable. We'll do the honorable mentions at the very end
Us?
in case somebody has it. Bud, you're going to give us your 10. Samuel, your 10. Me 10. Mike 10. Then we'll go back around. We'll
Yeah,
debate.
Baccarat. Let's go.
We'll have see who's had a little bit of a howler. I want you to justify why they're in your top 10 because being in the top 10,
tough.
that's a big deal.
It's a,
It is.
It's a big,
Top 10 under 21 players.
It's a big range.
It's a
It
big
is.
deal.
It's a big
And
list.
There's a lot.
you know, Kendrick and Drake been beefing.
So
What have they been beefing about?
Baby BMs, fiancés.
Under 21s.
Liposuction.
kids.
Young kids.
There we go. Young
Millie
Millie
kids.
Bobby
Wives.
Brown.
So we're doing under
The hands.
21 episode.
Drake's beating,
I mean, Kendrick.
Kendrick's beating BMs.
Drake's touching.
Millie Bobby Brown.
Exactly. And
Trying
that's
to
why we're
strike a
doing
chord.
under 21's episode.
Ah, yeah.
A minor.
A minor.
She's still
A
under
minor.
21.
Jeez.
She would be under 21.
She's
Not
probably-
under
she's
18.
probably
but she's
18
under
or
21.
19.
She's married
now.
though now.
We should have done an under
Yeah,
21.
she's probably 18 now or 19 max.
Should have done an under 21's like movie list.
Movie
Like
What
list.
does that
stars,
mean?
like
She's 20.
Celebrities.
I don't know enough.
What
bro.
kind of list are you going? Like best actors? And
Just best
actresses?
celebrities.
Ooh.
We should do a best
I think
celebrities.
you're
list.
flirting with a
Oh,
dangerous
I'll bleep this out,
question.
but me and Sammy just saw a TikTok before, and there was this school in Victoria,
Oh
Yeah.
my god!
and the 4 kids got suspended because all the year 11s at the school, the guys, were on Discord, and they made a tier list of like the girls in their year, and it was like
wifey.
wifey, blah blah, cutie, blah blah blah. Object was orange. The red was
I'll say it.
no. I don't want
Rag.
to. I don't. I can't be. I can't be bothered editing it out.
We're gonna leave this in. That was the bottom one.
That was the red, and there was like seven
the
girls
one,
in
the
there.
one above that was Get Out. The one above that was Object. Then it was like
An object was full. Like
yeah, Object.
you
was
couldn't see the
full,
photos, but it went like
It
double
was blurred.
double lines,
But the bottom one had like 8 people in it. In that
and it
category.
got leaked. It was on their Discord chat.
That's like
That's horrible.
to even think about doing that stuff. You gotta
School
be
kids.
private school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, of
grammar.
course.
Grammar,
Of
Yeah, it was a
course.
grammar.
Yeah.
And all them guys have become politicians as well.
Bud, you want to say something? I'll turn your mic down.
No.
Okay, go Chris.
Goku, I think.
All right, Bud, kick us off. Your number 10, 10th best under 21 in the Prem.
Just got to wipe the dust off my notepad. Haven't used this in a while. We haven't done one of these in ages. So my number 10 in the top 10 best players under 21 goes to Udogi. I put Udogi in my number 10 spot. I think start of the season, this guy was in contention for already one of the best signings for Tottenham. Strong left back, can go up and down. Defensively, very solid. Not many players got past him at the start of the year.
Did you write this description down?
No.
Why? It doesn't look like you're reading it off the.
Oh, shit, sorry.
No, it's okay.
But yeah, I just at the start of the year, I was very impressed with the, what's the word? The recruitment Ange did with Udogi.
They signed Udogi last year, but
From where?
Yeah.
Was it Atalanta, wasn't it?
yeah,
Was
I
it
think so. I don't know where it was.
Well, yeah, it's on
Anyways.
loan.
I was very impressed with this transfer.
Mm.
And just watching him week in, week out, it's very impressive at the start of the year. Couple of injuries and now he's out for the season. So
I've got Udogie in my list.
Same.
He's just not
I've got
10.
him 10th.
Okay, you got him 10th as well.
Yeah.
Oh, is it you and Bud? Same brain today.
Yeah, same brain.
I had him.
Go, shake hands. So Samuel doesn't really need to say too much.
Yeah.
I'll go my 10, and it's the first. I didn't want to be giving these guys praise, but they got some good under 21 players. So my 10 is a guy who plays. He's a midfielder, attacking. I'd say we play pretty similar, to be honest, but it's up to you to decide. Very technically gifted. I went Carney Chukwuemeka as my 10.
Nice.
I feel as though he hasn't played too much this year, but when he has played,
Injuries.
I think he's good.
I think he's extremely
I just
talented.
haven't seen enough.
Yeah,
of
fair,
him
completely
personally.
fair.
I rate Carney Chukwuemeka, to be fair. I think if he wasn't as injured, I would have added him as well because he's got everything. He's kind of got like that, not quite Ruben Loftus-Cheek, but that kind of guile, the way he moves, but he's a bit dangerous. He can attack. He can.
Still technically
And he's a bit
gifted.
lanky,
Very good.
Yeah.
but
He
he's
looks awkward, but he's not.
Yeah.
It's like one of my
got-
favorite style of players.
yeah.
I had him honourable mentions.
Okay.
Since
Yeah,
no
he's
one
nice.
put him else in the list. So I just
Yeah,
said that.
that's my 10, Carney.
My 10, I'm going Lewis Miley. I feel like this guy is very good talent. I feel like to come into a Newcastle side in that kind of way where there's a lot of expectation, he did really well. And I feel like they needed him to do well. He stood up, and you need that from your young guys. Because I feel like some young guys, they come in and they don't quite, it doesn't quite work. Whereas with him, it looked like he's been in the first team football for his whole career. And I feel like he can build off this season and become like a top level talent, over the next few years. So
I feel as though it's a little bit of hating if you don't have Miley on your list.
Yeah.
I don't have Miley on my list.
I don't have Miley on my list, and I feel as though when I hear it, it's like I really should have him on my
Yeah,
list because he's what
I think he
17
should.
or
He's
18, 17 years old, and to be that good at 17 and
composure as well. It's
able to
crazy.
be so involved in games. It's not like he just like ghosts forever.
Yeah.
He's like involved, and he's like a big part of Newcastle. So I think it is hating, and I don't have him on my list.
Yeah, neither do I, to be honest. Mark, you might as well go 9.
My 9, I feel like a lot of people will have this guy higher, but I think from what I've seen so far, which is probably more recent than the whole season, I've gone Jared Braithwaite. I think he's an exceptional centre-back. I feel like at the start of the season, there was other English centre-backs which were probably in front of him or defenders, whereas I think he's kind of put himself in that position now where you're like, he could be going to the Euros. His quality, composed, that partnership with Tarkowski now, you're seeing Everton not lose
Clean
games.
sheets, bro.
They're getting clean sheets, and that's definitely him stepping into that role, as well as Tarkowski supporting him. But he's got the mentality, I think, to be a top tier English centre back, and we've only just seen that. And I feel like you give him a whole season next season, he could really be one of the guys for England coming up.
Yeah, I think he gets a big move. I've got him in my list, but a bit
same.
higher.
Same.
I think he ends up getting a big move this summer. Whether it's a big move for him, like I think he goes United or something. I wouldn't be surprised if United break the bank to get him. But
He needs to go gym as well.
yeah, he's very Stones-like when Stones was at Everton,
Yeah.
frame-wise.
Yeah.
See Haaland just toss him around.
Yeah.
He's a big guy as well. So
He's a big guy. My number 9 is a City player. I feel like you've got to be extremely talented to ever play for City in the front 4. And the games I've seen this guy play, hasn't played too much again, but for me, he could be up there with the most talented on the list. I went with Oscar Bob.
Could be another Cole Palmer situation.
Yeah.
I thought you were
you
going to
go.
say that I don't have him on my list. I haven't seen enough again.
For me, he's in my honourable mentions because I feel like it's only like I haven't seen enough, but what I've seen,
He's-
if he has give him 10, 15 games next season, he could be higher. I think he looks like he's got a higher ceiling than Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
And I used to
He's
rate Cole
very
Palmer.
good,
He
bro.
looks exceptional. But for me, it's just a games thing.
I feel like this, like the 10 to 8, you can put somebody in there and kind of just argue. Like
True.
it's anybody from that list,
And in
realistically.
saying that, you have...
Mine, I think this is my first controversial one for putting him this low. But at number 9, I have Rasmus Højlund. And for me, I put Højlund this low because, yeah, he did have that nice period where he was dangerous, but to be fair, he's been playing every single game, starting every single game. There was a lot of this season where he looked very bad and he looked poor, but we've also seen how good he can be. So for me, I put him at 9.
I've got Højlund fucking high. I've got him in my top 5.
Yeah, no, I don't.
So
I'm 9.
I'm a bit, I don't know. I'll see who else is in your list.
My
talk
number
to us.
9, I've gone Madueke. I think he's one of...
Isn't he 22?
No.
He's young,
in
man.
this list.
I'm pretty sure he's 22.
Maybe he is, because
Is he?
I didn't
Did
put
he
him in
turn?
the short list.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's 22.
Oh, no, I did put him in the short list. He is in here.
He's
No,
22.
But he's in the thing.
Yeah, he's
I
22.
checked the ages. That's
okay.
why I didn't.
Yeah, that's why I didn't
have
put him in. He would have been in my
10th
list.
of March. Sorry, bud.
That's all right. I'll just put Chukwuemeka in then. I'll put him in number 9.
Okay.
Because he was
Chukwuemeka there.
in between those
Yeah,
two.
fair enough. He was in
Oh,
the
yeah.
short list, my bad.
That's all right.
I mean, production's bad. Bud went Chukwuemeka.
Yep.
Yeah, great pick, Bud. Great
Yeah.
pick. Chukwuemeka.
Chukwuemeka.
That's ball knowledge.
He's
He's very steezy on the ball.
Very,
Almost.
very
He's very just tidy player. Shame he didn't get to see much.
Yeah,
true.
it's like most Chelsea players this year.
Yeah.
My number 8 was Branthwaite.
Number 8? Yeah, mine is Branthwaite as well.
Okay.
You two. Different 8.
Højlund.
Højlund.
I think
I had Højlund high.
I like Højlund, but I think United didn't help with where like he should be. Like where I would have put him, United didn't help that. So being at United and not scoring for that long, like was it 12 games, 13?
Yeah.
That kind of was a big factor as to why I didn't put him in. I liked watching him in the Champions League, but to not carry that form into the Prem, it was a bit like, okay, what's going on?
It's definitely probably the hardest situation a 21-year-old or whatever he is, 20-year-old could go into.
Yeah.
Going to starting 9 for United that's probably one of the hardest things that a player could do. So I guess he was in a difficult situation. And I feel as though he's come out of it at the end of the year and everyone probably thinks like positively of him.
I think so.
Nobody thinks this guy's a flop.
I've got him higher than, 5, but... Mike, who is your number 8?
8. I think my 8 for me. Well, let me go back. Yeah, my 8 is Kobe Mino. A lot of people might say this is low, but I think I'm basing this more on not so much his talent, because talent alone I'd probably put him way higher. But I think it's hard to know exactly where he stands because you can argue he hasn't played too many games, yeah. But I also think he's playing for a side that is struggling. And I feel like you couple that along with maybe other players in this list that have played more games, that have been maybe a bit more consistent, then I think that's where I fit him. But in terms of talent, he's elite. And I didn't want to be biased and put him like top 5 in my perspective because I don't think he's there yet. Because I think there's other dudes in this list that have done more for longer. But yeah, he's an exceptional talent, and that's why he's 8 for me.
I'm going to be interested to
Yikes,
see who
yeah,
Mike,
far out.
yeah, Mike has above him.
God
I can't say
damn.
anything now because we don't know the rest of his list.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But I have Mano higher.
Yeah, me too.
My 7 is
My-
Udogi has been said.
My 7 hasn't been said.
Mine hasn't either.
Do you want to go?
Uh,
MJ, is your 7 been said?
No.
Yeah, you can go.
My 7 is Conor Bradley.
Nice.
Oh.
I feel like the reason why I put him there is I think he stepped into a side that had a lot of expectation. At the time, they were trying to push for the league title. He was having huge performances at home, huge performances away. And I feel like he's definitely positioned himself to be that next guy. And I'm very impressed. But yeah, that's
I
right.
don't want to argue with you too much because I really like Bradley. Bradley didn't get in my list. I feel
Bradley's
as though
not in my list,
I could have put him, and I don't argue with you for putting him. But to put him over Mano, for me, is very questionable.
Yeah.
Just because
Fixture wise, surely.
one's played more
Mano's played more.
than Bradley. I think he's had more impact than Bradley.
way more impact.
Bradley did have a big impact, I think, and I feel as though we were good when he was playing, and he was good. But I just think that impact was and how good the level that he got to and how good the level he is right now, Maino, compared to Bradley is...
Bradley just rode a wave for me. He rode a wave well. He did well. And now the main guy's back, so he just has to wait his turn again.
He's injured. But yeah, he's
injured. I mean, like...
Even if he wasn't...
You know what I mean? Like, he rode his wave well. I'm
yeah.
not saying he did bad. I'm just saying he took his opportunity, did well in those moments. But
it wasn't a small opportunity though. It was a few months.
Yeah, I think you're under.
I'm giving him his praise. I'm saying he did like well for Liverpool
in a much better team as well.
And he did probably better defensively and in other roles better than the actual right back in Trent. But I just think that everyone knew once Trent comes back, he would still start.
But that's not a fair argument because
Why?
who at United is going to step in front of Kobe Mainoo? Who do they have that's...
No, I'm saying
injured?
This is why I didn't put in Bradley.
But I think you're using a separate, non-comparable argument to discredit Conor Bradley that doesn't really apply to Kobe Mainoo.
No, I'm just saying I didn't put in Bradley because I was just saying like he was good, but he said he didn't put him in.
Yeah,
so I was kind of connecting that.
That's fair. I think you should be in.
Mainoo started 20 games this year.
It's pretty crazy.
And Bradley started 10.
Yeah.
Just quietly.
All right. Well, I mean, I'll swap them too, but that's probably where I'm at.
Okay. I feel like if you have Bradley in your list, you can justify it.
Definitely.
My only thing is
absolutely.
about him being above Mainoo.
Yeah, I mean, I can argue that, but I think...
We're doing 10-game wonders.
I think not having him is criminal, to be fair. But
10-game wonders. I could have a good 10-game stint. You're going to put me
I don't
in.
think so.
My number 7...
You're also talking about a dude who's at a top 3 side. It's completely different to somebody who's trying to break into the top 5, top 6, and the struggling side as well. It is.
But he looked better in the struggling.
But we'll see who else is on your list.
So doesn't that make it better?
Well, you could argue that he looks better because he's in a bad team, can't you? Whereas this guy looked good in a good team or a team people consider good.
No, but it wasn't like because the team was shit, Mainoo looked good. It's because
Well,
Mainoo looked good because he looked good.
He's good, but also the team isn't good, so he looks even better.
Nah, because why would you get caught off for England?
He said.
Huh?
You don't just get caught off for England because you look good in a shit team.
Of course you do.
Because they see your qualities.
Yeah, but that also helps though, doesn't it?
Being shit in a good team.
Huh?
Being good in a shit team helps.
I'm saying you stand out more, don't you?
Okay, so why didn't Barkley make it?
He should have made it.
But he didn't. He didn't play for England. No, he didn't. No, he did play one game. Yeah, you're right. He did come on.
That's what I'm saying.
No, okay.
I'm not. I rate Mainoo. For me, based on talent,
Mainoo's
he
not
should be.
a
I've
player-
said it though.
He's not a player that like only look good because of his. Like,
I'm not
because
saying
of
that.
United.
I'm not saying he only looks good because of United.
No, but it was more that Mainoo looked good. If United were good, Mainoo would still look the exact same for me.
And on that point, he looked good for England. And I'm not discrediting Mainoo. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but
Conor
for you
Bradley,
to have Bradley over him over a 10-game stint, and saying that you didn't see enough of Mainoo
okay,
when he played 20.
but you think he should be in the list?
Who?
Conor Bradley.
No, I'm not saying I didn't put him in my list.
Why not?
But for
Yeah,
you
neither.
to have
I
Mainoo
didn't put him in
higher,
mine.
I mean, to have Bradley higher than thing and say before that you said Mainoo.
That's irrelevant if you don't even have him in your list. Why are you arguing with me?
No, because I'm saying why is he higher than this when your argument was for Mainoo he didn't play enough games, you didn't see him enough, but this guy played 10 games.
No, I'm saying it like where he's in my list compared to others.
Right.
I think there's other players which I went back and said, look, I should have swapped him, but compared to the rest of the list, I think there's dudes that have.
So you
arguably-
only swapped him because of the games, not because of how they played.
Yeah, pretty much.
Interesting.
You guys 7. We can come back to this.
That
I'm
was
sure
nice.
we'll touch on
It's
it again
gonna
because
it's going to come up again.
yeah, Mark
very
is going to
soon.
have more players, so we'll be able to see who's above who.
Yeah.
For me, my number 7 is a player that I've previously hated on. It's a player that I haven't understood how, like, why he's been classed as this amazing young star, and he plays for my own club, Liverpool. And for me, at number 7, I have Harvey Elliott. This season,
I've got him way higher.
I've seen that Harvey Elliott for me is one of the best youngsters in the Premier League, one of the best youngsters in the world, and he has been so good for Liverpool, regardless of when he plays and when he's like, if he comes on, if he starts, he's been so good. And just in 2024, in all of Europe, he's got the third most assists, only behind De Bruyne, and it was someone else.
I've got him way, way, way higher. So I'll go at you a bit when I get to him.
Sure. The rest of my list is very good. So,
Well,
I didn't have Elliot because his mum's a racist. There's no way your mum can be racist and you could allow that as well.
what do you mean allow that?
He didn't say mum stop, did he?
You want him to come out online and say,
So-
"Mum, stop."
No, but him not retaliating in a way shows that this probably happened before.
You just forgot him. Just say you forgot him.
Yeah, I don't want
I
to.
did
I don't want to
remember-
make.
Yeah.
You better not have a. We better not do a centre backs list and you have John Terry in the list at
you
all.
will. You definitely
Make
would.
sure.
John Terry.
Yeah.
Make sure.
He's actually racist.
Yeah. So okay, I won't.
Okay, make sure.
So now
If that's your justification,
Yeah,
good.
that can't be your
He's
justification.
No, if that's your
He's not
justification,
racist.
fine.
How's Elliot racist?
How do we know he didn't say anything to his mum about this?
So you're making up stuff about somebody
If his
who could
mum's
potentially be
comfortable-
racist.
If his mum's comfortable with saying whatever she said to him over messages, Lord knows what he's been saying back as well. Yeah.
So
I
you're
agree.
making things
This,
up. You're making
shouldn't
things
be
up,
played
though.
either.
So
Listen,
you're
Harvey
putting him in a
Elliott's
list,
my list.
over something his mum said.
As long as we see consistency from Bud, I'm okay with that
He's racist.
justification.
His mum's racist. He's racist.
Mark, you got Elliot in your list?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's go let's go one position higher. Number 6, been said again. I've got Kobe Mainu.
Okay.
You guys can go.
I have him way higher. So
I have way higher. My number 6, I had Gusto for Chelsea. I think this year, with what we had, with obviously the right back we had captain out, we needed someone to step up. Bar the team's performances, I think he's been one of our best players this
He's been
season.
exceptional.
I think he's been so good.
He stepped into that role, and now he's not just made it like, oh, okay, he's filled in for the guy. Now there's talks of what's going to happen to Reece because this guy's played exceptionally well in this position. So everyone's kind of like, well, if Reece comes back,
There's a conversation to be had.
we don't. He can't just walk into that spot anymore.
Crazy.
Like how he used to when he just came back from injuries.
Great.
There's more pressure on it now. So it's good. It's good to have. And yeah, like I said, this guy's been exceptional this year, attacking and defensively.
I've got
Claims.
Gusto way higher.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Mike, you got a different player?
What number is this?
6.
6.
I got a different player too.
My number 6, Rico Lewis. I think I think talent wise he should be higher, but it's a weird thing because he's not starting every week, and I feel like you've got to give credit to dudes who have either been in this position for longer, like they've had 2-3 seasons where they've kind of been around it, or they're like clear starters. But in terms of talent, he's up there. Like he could definitely be one of the players if you look in the next 2-3 years. He's starting for England. To be able to play in that treble-winning side for City as well, that's got to be understated. But yeah, he's an incredible player, and he could easily be higher, definitely.
Who's at the top of your list, MJ? I'm really wondering.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got a different one. My number 6 is a player that I don't rate too highly personally, but I know that he's good, and I know that he's capable of being a star. And at the moment, he's probably one of the best youngsters in the world, and obviously in the Premier League. That's why he's in this list. But for me, number 6 is he likes to do the suey, Garnacho.
I don't have him on my list.
He's in my list.
I feel as though he just has to be on your list, and I think it's definitely hating if you don't have him on your
I don't
list.
think he has to be on your list.
I think he does
I think
have
he
to
does.
be.
I don't think he does.
Yeah, I've got him a bit higher, to be fair.
Garnacho's me personally, I don't even love Garnacho, but I feel as though it's definitely hating if you don't have
You
him
love
on
his
your list.
game?
I don't love. I'm saying like I don't love his game
So why is he in the list for you?
because he's performing to a pretty high standard for somebody who's his age and for the team that he's playing for as well. I feel as though they're a big club, and he's been one of their best players this season and most consistent performers. So for me, he's
I don't
gotta
have
be.
Garnacho on my list.
Why is that? Is it because you don't like his game?
I just don't rate him. I don't think he's that good. I think he has ability in terms of he's got pace.
He's direct.
Yeah, he's quite direct, and I think he has kind of a instinct for goal.
I don't know.
But as a player, I don't see the big deal personally in Garnacho. There's a lot of players. Like, I think Madueke is a much better player than Garnacho. I think there's players that have played. I think James McAtee is a better player than Garnacho, but
he
plays with Messi.
Just being a better
his
player.
idol was Ronaldo.
Just being a better player doesn't, like, in terms of footballing aesthetic.
Well, they're the same age. I'm just comparing him to
like
his peers.
aesthetic doesn't mean better player, but you know that.
I agree with Samuel. I think he deserves to be in the top 10.
And I think if you look at this season as well, there's
100%.
been moments where he was the guy for United this week, this game, next game. Like, he's been the guy.
He's been things go-to man.
Yeah, and I
Whether
feel like
coming on or
to
starting.
be that young and to be able to step into being the leader in terms of, like, he's working hard, he's scoring, he's assisting, he's
outperforming
to the
other guy
to the end of the
on the other
game.
side who you love.
That's why, like, and not so much on talent, I have him higher, but just more on what he's actually doing this season. I think he's moving like he's 26 when he's still a youngster, and I feel like that's maybe why he should be higher for me.
Yeah. From the end of last season to now is a big jump for me for Garnacho. I think he's been he's matured very well. He's done more than just, I guess, people expected. He's doing defensive work as well. He knows his role. For me, someone that knows their role in the squad and plays, and when they go out, they can follow instructions and do them. Is a good thing to have.
He's also giving United fans a bit of hope.
And he can score and assist at any time now.
So number 5 is Højlund.
Fair enough.
Yeah, same.
Based on what? I want to hear. Why he's so high.
It's his first season in the league as a striker.
It's a hard position, mate, to come into.
Yeah, he's playing for one of the most scrutinised clubs in the world. He's young. He went 11 games without scoring at the start of the year, which could potentially ruin some people's career with all the scrutiny he was getting.
Yeah,
bounced back.
Yeah,
scored 7 or 8 games running. I think he was good even in the games before he was scoring. Okay. He finished the Champions League group stage top scorer. For me, Højlund as a number 9, he's done what he's been asked to do this season. And it was a big position to fill considering they sold Ronaldo, they got rid of Cavani, and it was only him. He's the only option to play there. I think he is the mould that they wanted. And I think based on, they paid a big fee, and I don't think that's justified just yet, but he is only 21 or 20. So for me, he's only going to improve, and that's his first season in the league.
Interesting.
Not against having him that high at all.
Yeah.
So we'll see who you have above.
Nah, it's just, I just wanted to know why.
Because do you have Højlund in your list?
He had him already.
Yeah,
he had him 9 or 8.
9.
So Udogie.
Højlund.
Yeah.
Chukwuemeka.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I was just interested because you didn't have Garnacho.
My number
don't
5.
like him.
Yeah, I don't think he's good. That's why I don't have him.
Okay.
Not because I don't like him.
Fair
and
enough.
I don't like him.
My number 5 hasn't played a single game this season. Is it too
You
high?
you were going to have Madueke over Højlund.
Yeah.
Based on what?
What do you mean based
on what? It's a simple question.
Based
3
on
weeks.
Yeah.
ability.
Okay.
He's good, yeah.
Yeah. Based on ability.
Yep.
Based on games he's played.
What do you mean games he's played? What does that mean?
Like, as in watching him play. Like, games he's played.
Doesn't mean anything.
Well, it does to me.
What does that mean?
What do you mean? What does that mean?
What does
You asked me what-
based on
what
games he's played mean?
Like, what he's done in the games. It does impact.
Okay.
Same thing still.
I don't know
Madueke.
what that means.
I don't think his impact is like.
I don't think he's
like that,
impactful
really.
at all. I just think he's aesthetically
just because
pleasing
he's
to
not-
watch. I think he's got good qualities. He's talented, but impact, he doesn't have any, rarely impact
In
until
games.
the last couple of weeks.
In games, he does have impact. That doesn't mean it led to a goal or something.
I feel as though there's
But I
many
think
games
he
he can
still
just...
has impact in games for Chelsea.
I feel like impact is like Doku drip. If you're gonna compare like wingers,
Yeah,
That's
impact
different.
for
That's
me.
different though.
It's not
I'm
that.
saying because of Chelsea and what they are, it's hard to have impact in that team. And I feel like he's been one of the best players.
The prime example of that.
Yeah, but I'm saying he's one of them as well.
Listen, I was just bringing the argument since you wanted to question Højlund.
Yeah, and I answered.
I feel like Højlund's done much more than Madueke has this season.
different players, different positions.
He did it in
Champions League.
Europe. Done it in the league. He started slow, but he's done it. in a tougher situation, you'd argue. as well.
Madueke was doing it in the cups.
Piss off.
Now doing it in the
This
league.
guy's not serious, man.
He's not doing shit in the league. The only games he's played well are the games you've won 5-0. Aside
Nah.
from that, when has Medueke turned up in a big game?
I think he's
Never.
played well with
He doesn't
what
even
he's
start in any
with the
big
minutes
game.
he's had.
Did he
He's
play
played
against
well
Arsenal?
in.
Yeah, he was awful.
Jesus.
He got dragged in that
Like
game.
I said, everyone was bad that day.
Okay, well,
It wasn't just him.
he brought
Oh.
up that game, so I was just telling you.
Yeah, I know. I was
Alright.
just telling you as well.
So what games do you think he's played well? Just
Oh, he's not going to be able to.
I know.
It's going to be the last 3 weeks.
there's plenty more. We can talk about that. after.
We'll talk about it after. We don't
Not
want to
the
waste time
Madueke
on
show.
Medueke.
Yeah, we're
You just saw him
I like
messaging.
Madueke.
He just
It's
saw him
not the
messaging.
Madueke
You just saw
show.
him FaceTime Ruby Rose, and you put him in your list.
Yeah,
he hasn't
facts.
done anything to me in the list.
You know Haaland, Hoyland.
You think
Those games he
Madueke?
went 13-5
Yeah,
was
13
when he
and
scored
5.
13-0
Mhm.
was during the Champions League run. So there's no excuse for not scoring in 13 games.
Or he scored in the Champions League.
He scored. I'm pretty sure he scored
that's
4
what I
in
meant.
Champions League.
Yeah, 5.
Him scoring in
Yeah.
the Champions League makes his case in the Prem worse.
Why?
Why didn't he score for 13 games?
He was getting used to
He
the league.
played every single game.
You know, it's
getting
hard.
used
It's
to the
hard for
league.
strikers.
One goal.
But we're not
I only
saying
needed
we're not
one goal.
but
I didn't need 13
But
in
it's
13.
not the 13. You don't focus on Madueke's bad parts when you're saying where Madueke should be in the list. But when you talk about Hoyland, why don't you focus on his good parts the same way you focused on Madueke's good parts?
His
Why don't you
good
talk
parts
about
is him making the list. He made the top 10 for me.
Yeah, but you're saying that Madueke would
The
be
difference
more
between them
because
is one spot.
Yeah.
It's not like it's like 5.
Yeah, I
It's
don't know.
literally one
No,
spot.
I'm not saying that. It's just your description of him.
Yeah. But I'm saying there's no excuse for
Anyway,
not scoring.
some leagues, the fifth place is now Champions League. So in my first Champions League spot, I'm going with, like I said, a guy who hasn't played yet this season. Is it too high to put somebody who hasn't played yet this season just because of what I saw him do last season? Maybe. But for me, number 5 is Romeo Lavia.
I've got him higher.
And for me, he's one of the best midfielders in his position, especially for players under 21. And he's gone to Chelsea. I really wish we'd got him at Liverpool. He's been very unlucky, obviously, with injury to be out for the whole season.
You guys got to get your money out, bro.
The whole season. And yeah, he was bought for a lot of money as well. But last season, what we saw him do at Southampton, for me, is he's got a spot cemented in the top 5 for me.
Yeah, I've got a question on your list, and I'll get to it when you mention the player that's above him.
For me,
I
I didn't put him in my list at all. Purely because
Why?
I'm not going to cap and say I watched him last year. That's my reason. He's a good player, but I can't say he can be in my list if I haven't watched him at all.
I think I'm trying to base my list on this season. So based on now, I didn't have him in. But in terms of like pure talent, yeah, of course, he was exceptional last year.
The only highlight I have
Him and Cisco as well. I would have
Yeah.
put in my list this season, but the Cisco's just come back.
yeah.
Levi's played 20 minutes or something, so it was too hard to put them both in. I like him. He's real good.
You got
my
5.
my five's Hoyland. I said yeah.
Oh, yeah, MJ, you're
Oh,
5.
is this? I thought we just did 5.
Did you do one?
You didn't say yours.
I don't think you said
I
yours.
said Hoyland.
Oh, no, you didn't say it,
Okay.
but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry,
Hoyland.
I thought I
Yeah,
said the same.
you both
yeah.
had Hoyland. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Well,
Is it my go again?
I can get rid of my 4 because it's been said.
My 4's been said as well.
I haven't said my 5.
Oh.
My 5, Ansu Fati.
Shut up.
No.
What?
Shut up.
What?
What do you mean, shut up?
So let me
What?
see the way this guy tried
What?
to argue with me. See the way this guy tried to
What?
argue with me.
This is based
Like
off.
Conor Bradley.
This is based off
what?
pure talent, ability,
Nah,
ability.
Nah, cuz.
and I've watched him play.
Nah.
Where have you watched Ansu Fati play?
So you watch
Because I know
basketball,
you didn't
then
watch the
watch
Prem.
That's not a
20
question for me
minutes.
to ask.
20 minutes
I mean,
for
that's not a
Bradley.
question for me to
Nah,
answer.
this,
Why?
Nah, this guy's
Where,
not serious.
literally,
Well,
where have you
obviously,
seen
you know
him play?
where. You
Where?
obviously
Okay,
know
where?
where.
You watch Barca play?
Obviously, I've seen him play at Barca.
So you watch Barca
he
play
didn't
more
play-
than you
he
watch
didn't play for
Chelsea
Barca
play
at all
against
last year.
Southampton.
No, I've watched him play more than
He didn't play
watched
for
Lavia.
Barca at
How
all.
have you watched him play more than Chelsea?
Lavia.
Chelsea probably played Southampton. They played him twice last season. That's
I didn't-
more games than you've
No,
seen.
I'm not gonna. Like I said, I wasn't gonna cap and say I watched Lavia. I didn't watch him.
But you haven't watched Fati.
When did
I
you
have
watch
watched
Fatty?
that.
You're
he
captain and
didn't
saying
play
you
for
watched
Barca
Fatty.
at all last year. So when were you watching Fati?
I've watched Fati play.
When?
though.
All last
And I know
year.
his ability.
When?
All the year before.
You're putting Lavia in your list. He hasn't
was
played.
a
He
yet.
hasn't played for a
I
long
watched him
time.
play last
Since he
year.
was
Yeah,
young.
last year.
Yeah, it would have been
So he didn't play this season at all, and you put a player in your list that didn't play this season as well.
He's been injured.
Fatty's played this season at least.
Yeah.
But I've still seen Fatty.
I've probably watched Lavia way more than you've watched Fatty.
Of course.
Like I said, you've put a player that hasn't played this whole season in your list for this year.
But because
this
he's
guy
good.
barely
You're
played.
getting angry because I've put Fatty in who
But the list was
I've seen play in
the list
Barca.
was
and
best
I've seen
players
play
under
this
21.
season.
Fatty hasn't been
That's
good
not
for
worse.
3 years.
That's not worse than than Lavia being in the
When
list.
has Fatty
When was
been
the last
good?
time Fatty was good?
Why does he need to be good to be in this list?
Why does he need to be good?
Because
Because we're doing
the players.
Yes,
We're doing
it
the
is.
best
It's not-
under
it is.
21
It's not the
players.
most players under
And you're
21.
doing players who aren't even
It's not the
good.
most informed.
Yeah, it's the best players under 21.
What?
How is he
It's
getting
not
to that
just-
list?
So if a player that was just informed for the last couple weeks should be more in this list than Fatty.
Well, no, you just
Well,
got
you
angry
put-
at us
you
for
put
having.
Madueke in your list.
Yeah, and you got angry at us
Yeah,
for having.
low.
You got angry at us for having a player who hasn't played this season. So obviously
got
yours is
angry at me
based
for
off
putting
form.
No, I didn't get
Obviously
angry.
yours is based off
I
form.
didn't get
It has
angry
to
at
be.
you guys for putting Lavia.
So then why is
That's
why is-
false. That's false. I said, put my hand up. I haven't watched Lavia play. That's it. That's all I said. Wasn't angry.
But
I
you
just
have
put my hand up
Fatty in
and
there.
saying,
But you have Fatty. You haven't watched Fatty play.
I've watched Fatty way
He's
more.
played 400 minutes this year, so probably he's played like 7 or 8 games.
I've watched Fatty play way more than Lavia.
How have you watched him play
How
way
many
more?
minutes?
When did you watch
400.
Bryden this season?
When Thing played.
Who?
When Fatty's played.
Why have you
And
watched
I've seen him
Bryden
at
this
Barca.
season?
And I've seen him at Barca.
When did you see him at Barca? You just
That's
now
like 5
claiming you
full
watched
games.
Barca play.
Max.
It's not claiming I've watched Barca, but when I've watched Barca, I've seen Fatty on the field.
You think so? You don't watch Barca very much, but you think the times that you did watch Barca, which
It's
is very
more than Lavia.
scarcely, yeah. How is it more than Lavia? But now you watch the Prem all the time, so you can see Fatty play for Bryden.
Yeah, but
What do you mean? I just said I haven't watched Lavia play.
But you're
So I
saying
can't
you've
put
watched
him in my
Fatty
league.
play.
Yeah,
I'm
more than
I'm
Lavia.
questioning it
That's
because
how are
Fatty's
you
played.
questioning it?
Fatty probably he has 400 minutes this season.
Right.
You're claiming to have watched him more, but last season you didn't watch just the
That's
Premier
already
League.
400 minutes more than I've seen Lavia play.
You watched him every minute.
So
You watched
Fatty
more
all this
Bryden
season,
games than you watched
but
Chelsea
you didn't
games.
see Lavia play at all last season.
You watch more Bryden games than Chelsea games this season.
not just like obviously I may have watched the games, but I'm not like looking at Lavia like he's. It's like watching a Bournemouth play. Like it's not someone I've focused on.
And so even when Chelsea signed
I could
Lavia,
say
you
that.
never thought, oh, let me go watch this guy play when they signed him.
Like I said, I didn't watch him.
So why are you claiming
Highlights is different to watching
oh,
a
we
game.
signed Lavia.
He's
We
a
signed
six.
Lavia.
I know for a fact you haven't sat there and watched a Ansu Fati game this year.
That's what you think, bro.
It's true.
How can
Okay,
you
I'm
watch
not gonna
more
argue
Fatty
with you
games?
if I know what I've seen.
How can
You know,
I've seen
Deserbi-
Fatty 400 minutes. What was it? 400
Deserbi
minutes.
himself said
Yeah.
he hasn't done enough.
I've
to be
seen
playing.
400 more minutes than I have
That tells you,
Lavia.
that should tell you.
You've
enough.
watched every minute of Fatty's
No,
season.
obviously, it's like I'm just saying. that.
No, you said I've watched 400 more minutes than Lavia.
But I'm over exaggerating because I'm saying I've still watched him more than I have.
Why are you
Lavia.
over exaggerating? Just say the truth.
I have watched Fatty more than I've watched Lavia. That's the truth.
That just doesn't make sense.
And so
at all.
Fati, the
doesn't-
guy
how
who
does
hasn't
it
been
not
good.
make
It doesn't
He
make
hasn't been
sense.
good for minimum 2 years, by the way.
minimum.
So I don't know where did you base the fact that he's good off?
The last time Fatty was good, Messi was still
Ability.
at Barca. By the way,
Yeah.
if you guys
It was
were
before
wondering.
that knee
Ability,
injury.
talent?
Yeah.
The first one.
Yeah.
So when I said
That's
I don't
years
think
ago.
Garnacho has ability, and you said, well,
I
it's,
just
not,
asked you a
it's not
question.
all about ability. It's just about.
No. I just asked you a question. Why you put him there? That's it.
I
And you
didn't
answered
put him
me.
in at
Put
all.
who in?
I
I've
didn't
asked
have
you
him.
why you put Højlund.
Yeah, I didn't say anything about Højlund. I said when I said I
Yeah,
don't
I
rate
asked you why you didn't put
Garnacho.
him, and you answered me. That's it.
Yeah, you said it doesn't have. It's not about ability.
No, but I asked you a question. You answered it. That's it.
Okay, so now it's
Fatty
about
in the
ability.
top five
Now it's about
stinks like
ability.
shit.
No, it's not.
Now it's about. You
I
just said it's about ability.
No, you asked me why, and I said because his ability and talent.
How many minutes do you reckon you've watched him in the Prem?
I don't know.
45 minutes into
Yeah.
Even if it's 1 minute, it's more than I've watched Lavia.
So you didn't
Okay.
watch
So you
Chelsea
didn't watch
play
when
last
Lavia
season?
played for Chelsea this season.
Like I just said,
You just admitted to not watching football with your own team.
Didn't Lavia play 20 minutes this season?
It's like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Like 20
it's not
something minutes.
like I'm
Swear.
saying. It's still more than Fatty's still more. Whatever it is, it's still going to be more. Fatty.
Shouldn't he be first then?
Who?
Fatty, based on like his talent.
Nah.
Yeah, if it's-
it's not just the most talented.
So what is it then?
Well, he's got it
It's
pretty high.
under-
He's got
under-
talent.
it's
It's got
under
into the
21.
top 5 list.
It's under 21s.
Yeah.
Yes, and he was their best player every single game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was one of the best
Like,
players
notably,
last year.
Yeah, that's cool.
Party region, right?
Well, he's just
Less
fucking
defensively,
good. Yeah, it's just good.
but he's so good on the
so
ball.
good on the ball. Anyway,
City
Bud's
boys,
gone.
man.
Bud's number 5 was
And too fatty.
Ansu Fati. Samuel went
I said Lavia 5.
Lavia, I had Hoyland. MJ had Hoyland.
Yeah.
All right, so number 4, I had Gusto.
I had Gusto 4.
Same.
So we all had Gusto 4,
Lewis. I had Rico Lewis 4.
and Bud had Rico Lewis 4.
Gusto for me is the highest Chelsea player just because
I have
think,
Lavia higher, but yeah.
Yeah, I think Gusto this season has been, like Bud said, unbelievable. I thought, in his first few games, I thought, this guy is shit. I even said, far out, this guy is shit, he stinks. Then, watched him more. Unbelievable.
Yeah, extremely composed on the ball.
Unbelievable.
Got clamps.
Can go forward, can defend 1v1 as much as one needs
right
to
back
be a good
needs to,
right back,
yeah.
I think. More so than Trent. But I'd say his
Trent
best
catching
attribute is
strays
definitely
every
on the ball.
day.
He can play inverted if he needs to. He can play as a wide fullback, could play in the back 5. I
And
think he can really do everything.
He's very comfortable on the ball. You don't look when you watch him. It doesn't look like he just wants to offload it. Just
No,
get
never.
rid of
He
the
wants
ball.
the ball.
He
holds
wants to
it.
take
Yeah.
touches. Sometimes
Yeah.
too many touches.
Yeah,
He
I
wants
like
the
that.
ball,
He's great.
definitely.
And he can whip in
So
a
we've
ball.
all gone 4. Now 3. This is the top 3.
Best youngsters. Mine's been said.
Mike, you want to start? Mine's been said as well. but you can
Mine's been
justify.
said, but I'm going Destiny Doggy. I think is incredible. You could have argued probably best left back or top 2 left backs in the league this season. Definitely, his impact was outrageous, and I think if you look at just like what he can do in his career, he could be phenomenal. You know, he's gone from being somebody who they weren't quite sure of to being like a shoe-in in that team to having such a huge influence. If you look at Tottenham at the start of the season, he was part of that system. Defensively incredible, going forward incredible, energy. Like there's not much you can say. For me, like he's a clear standout, and it's unfortunate he's injured, but for me he's a clear standout for anybody who's under 21 this season in terms of impact in games. Like games, not 1 in 5 games, back to back, just dominant. Yeah,
I agree.
I think he's
been great.
incredibly smart, and I think he's incredibly talented as well.
And big and fast and physical.
Nah,
and
see,
black.
that's what people would think.
Yeah, that was joking.
But he's incredibly smart, and to be able to play inverted the way that he plays inverted, and for a fullback to be as good on the ball as he is, he'd be one of the best on the ball in the world as a fullback.
So you feel a way about Bud having him 10 or no?
I had him 10
well,
as
there's
well.
no point arguing Bud. To be fair.
Okay,
I had him 10 as well.
I mean, I'm disappointed in you, but I don't want to argue with Bud.
I feel as though this end period where Tottenham have been average really got in my head. I think definitely,
Yeah,
I think he
been
definitely should be higher, but I do think that this end period, like the last couple months, pretty much anything outside the first 10 games for Tottenham.
Fair enough. I had, was that your 4 or 3?
3.
3. I had Harvey Elliott 3. I
That's
think.
big for you as well.
Listen,
I have him a bit behind.
Listen, I'm not opposed to saying my bad on players, and I used to not rate Harvey Elliott at all. What I've seen
Same.
of him this year, I rate him very highly.
Yeah,
I think on the ball, he has the ability to play as an attacking midfielder, can pick a pass, can dribble. He is, when he does play wide, I don't think wide is his best position. I think it is in the midfield. But when he does play wide, he still can go 1v1. He still can deliver a ball. He can still make a pass. And I think just watching him this season and how he's affected the Liverpool team when he has come off the bench, which is a lot of the games. I think he's only started like 10 games.
Yeah, most of the
But
games.
when he has come on, he's always made a difference. He's had a couple game winners. He's had moments which have really picked Liverpool up. And I think for me, Harvey Elliott, for him only starting 10 games, it's kind of like first season Foden when Foden was only starting a handful of games, but he was making a difference off the bench. And I think ability-wise, there's not too many higher than Harvey Elliott
And
at that age group.
to think he's under 21 as well,
Yeah.
or he's 21, and
I think he's
how
21.
how
yeah.
quickly everyone was to like diminish his ability and to be like just write him off, and then for him to show how good he is, even when he plays for England under 21s or under 23s, whatever it is, he's clear
Best
beyond that. He's just like completely past
And
that.
that's a team with like Madueke's like quality, and he's the best.
Yeah.
Like
He's the best by far. He's too good for the
I
under
don't even
23s
realise Madueke is playing in
At
those
all.
games.
at all.
His face pisses me off.
Harvey Elliott.
Yeah, so you're just not putting players in for stupid reasons. But it's all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
oh
Who's
man,
yours? Who's your number
Madueke's
three?
My number 3 has been said already, and it's somebody who I think is probably one of the most talented players in this list, and it's Rico Lewis. I think for anybody to break into that City team is incredible for me. So Rico Lewis.
My number 3 has been mentioned as well. I think MJ said him, but I've gone with Braithwaite. I think this year, like, he's looked very, very comfortable. One of the best centre backs in the league, left side as well. I think he's gonna go for big money, and I think maybe not this Euros, but from then on, I think he's gonna be the first choice CB for them.
Braithwaite. Did you say him already? You haven't said him.
Yeah.
I said him, but
I've already said him.
Maybe
Oh,
10 or
sorry.
10 or
I had him
11.
8.
I had him 8 as well. Interesting 3.
I think as a defender, I just value when I see a good defender. I'm like,
But Fatty had to make your list.
Fatty's not a defender.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Fatty's good, man. I don't know why he's
Yeah,
still stuck on
obviously.
that one.
But, mate,
That's
I just don't. I can't
crazy.
see it at the moment, bro.
Oh my God, who is in your list?
me. I've got 2 very good people left.
Okay, all right. So Bud had 3 Branthwaite,
Yeah,
which is a bit crazy.
Yeah, I've got 2 very good people
I'm a
left.
defender, man. You pick defenders.
No, he's just Branthwaite. He reminds
When
me
you
of
see,
he reminds you of an English someone in the league, but don't worry. So I'm just surprised that you like him.
no, I like him.
You'll put 2 and 2 together. Number 2, I have Romeo Lavia.
Nice.
I think based on ability alone, he could be one,
Yeah.
but just what he did for Southampton last season in the worst team in the league, carried every single game. One of the few players who wanted to show for the ball. You know, in really bad teams, you notice that people don't want the ball.
Yeah.
Like they just even
Especially
I
against
can vouch for that.
especially against
on the weekend, even
Especially
I
against
heard
good sides.
Guys were yelling at their teammates, saying like, "Show for the ball, want the ball." And you know, like when you're playing in such a bad team and you're versing good sides, so many players shy away from getting on the ball because they don't want to be the
They don't
reason
want-
they lose the ball.
Exactly.
They don't want to be the reason the other team scored a goal. They don't want to be the reason they've coughed up the ball because they'd rather go throughout the whole game without touching the ball just so they don't get seen making a mistake. And Romeo Lavia, any single time he could, got on the ball, made a progressive pass, beat the line, beat the press. Just so tidy on the ball. Yes, he will lose the ball, of
course,
every now and then. But for a player that young, he's only 19 or 20.
He was only 18 last season.
He was only 18 last
Yeah,
season.
he was
and,
young.
And for me, showed why he's one of the best midfielders in the Premier League.
Yeah, I agree with him. I just only didn't put him there. My number 2
Yeah.
is somebody who I think is having a very similar season to him this season.
Yeah.
He had it last season, and it's Kobbie Mainoo. I feel as though Kobbie Mainoo, for me, is going to be the United's best player this season. He's going to take out every single award possible at United.
I don't think so.
Who do you think has been better than him this season for
Garnacho.
United? No way.
No, not for me.
No chance.
He has been. I
No
reckon.
chance, I don't reckon. But anyway, for me, Mainoo has been United's best player. He's been one of... it's hard for me to see, especially in midfield. I think players can go out wide and they can be technically gifted and they can do things or they can look dangerous. But I think to go sit in the heart of midfield, he's not even a DM. He went and sat in the heart of midfield in the position where they lacked the most, and he's completely just reshaped that whole position for them. And for me, he's unbelievable. And when I watch him play, he's somebody that I'm definitely jealous that we don't have him.
Do you think Mainoo's better than Lavia?
No.
Okay.
I think if Lavia played this season, for me, I think Lavia's better. And if I could pick one to have, I would have Lavia. But I just think watching Mainoo for this season and his impact that he's had on a good... Like United, yes, they've underperformed, but he hasn't underperformed and they're still a good side. Whereas Lavia was playing for a team that got relegated. So I feel as though, yes, it's hard to look good in a shit... It's hard to look really good in a shit team, but you can also look better in a team where you don't watch every single game that they play.
Definitely.
And so for me, yeah, Mainoo's under scrutiny every single game and he's performed.
Mike too.
My number 2 is Harvey Elliott. I feel like people do forget that before he got that injury, he was the guy, like the up and coming dude. Like he was performing in a team that was better than Liverpool now. But in terms of what he does, how the level he's been at, and the expectation that he has, I think even for myself, I look at him, I criticize him a lot because it's rivalries, whatever. But in terms of actually what he brings and how old he is and how mature he kind of plays, I think it's underrated. I think and when you look at a lot of lists or like when people talk about youngsters, they rarely talk about Harvey Elliott, but I feel like they really should because he's at the level of all these guys. He just doesn't get the credit because he doesn't start week in, week out. But he's actually a very good talent.
He's also got that dog.
Yeah.
But who's your two?
My number 2 is a Manchester City winger. I've put Jeremy Doku as my second. I think this season he's come into the side and he's offered something different to what Grealish has. And for me, I like the way he plays. Ability on the ball extremely well. 1v1 ability extremely well. He offers pace. If he adds finishing to his game, I think he could easily be the best or top 2 left wingers in the league in 2-3 years. So for that reason, I think he's my number 2 winger. Or number 2, but he can be top 2 wingers of the league.
That's my one.
Yeah, it's my one as well.
That would have been my one, but it's not my one.
What happened, Michael?
No, I changed it. Don't worry.
Okay.
You don't have Doku in your list though.
Nah.
Oh. Yo. So this guy's been going at me this whole episode.
Go back.
For Fatty 5.
Go back.
I have an explanation.
Go back.
Why are you talking, bro?
Go. My number 1 is Manu, so it was Doku Manu.
Yeah, and my number one
Why
is
is this guy talking at me?
My number one's Doku.
my number one's Doku.
Hey, go. Who's your number 1?
My number one, in terms of talent, is Doku. But
No. Your list. Who's your number 1 on your list?
I'll show you.
No. Just say your list. I can.
I've chosen Garnacho
Okay.
for fair reasons.
For fair reasons.
Cool
If
choice.
this was me saying Garnacho
but
1,
I hear you.
episode would have finished.
But I had to.
Episode
Shut down.
This would have been shut off right
I
now
had to.
by the
down.
the
I'm not
electric
listening to
guy
Bud.
upstairs.
But
Yeah,
I'm
go-
not
go
listening
This
to
is
you.
crazy.
Go crazy.
This is crazy.
Go crazy.
I'm not
For
listening
you
to
to
you.
say
Chaos
this,
Kid, Wreck-It Ralph.
for you to
go.
say Garnacho 1
Yeah.
I'm not
is
listening to you.
insane.
Yeah.
This is why you were defending him
Tell
when
us.
I said
Yeah,
to
yeah,
Jeremy,
yeah.
why didn't you have him? You were defending
I'm not listening
Jeremy
to you.
because you knew you had him 1 and this was coming.
Yeah, go.
I'm not
go,
listening
go.
Why is he 1?
Go.
You can talk.
No. Why is he
Keep
1?
going.
I
I can
want
keep
more.
going. No,
I
keep
want to
going.
hear.
You can
I can
flap.
keep
I want to
going.
hear. I want to hear. I want to hear.
Mitch.
You can talk. I don't care.
Alright, go. MJ, why do you have Garnacho 1?
Well, I think if you look at this season, I think he's been United's best player the whole season. I think you can argue that Maino's been good. He's had his moments for sure. Absolutely. But in terms of, I think, what he's done, expectation from what he was last season, the state of United, how difficult it is to play at United, he's been the guy to score, to assist when they need it, to step up when they need it.
Okay.
Out of, I think, any player at that team consistently, and that's it. And I think when you've done what he's done, I have to give him credit. Because initially I was going to go with Doku, but I was like, nah, I've got to go with somebody who's done something in many games. He started every week. He's performing every week, and that's it. Because if it's purely on talent, the list is different. I would have put maybe Ansu Fati from 2019 in there. Yeah.
No.
I would
But
have done
Doku
that.
doesn't make your list at all.
You didn't put
Nah,
Doku
well,
in the list.
He should be in the list for sure. I'm not saying he shouldn't be, but I'm just saying I'd rather
That's
give
a
number
bigger
one.
howler than me putting Fatty 5.
It's not.
It is.
You're
I
just
think
trying
it
to.
is.
You're just
What
trying
do you
to.
mean trying
I
to?
agree with you.
You're trying to just move
I
away.
agree.
I didn't put Fatty top 3.
Your
I
list
put
is
him
awful.
5.
Your
I
list
think
is
Fatty
Fatty
awful.
is terrible, but I think to not have Doku's worse than.
Yeah. Okay, I'll take
Then
that.
that.
And to then partner that with Garnacho 1
Yeah,
is
Garnacho 1.
is
Why isn't
It's criminal.
Garnacho?
Even
why?
you,
It's
as a
criminal.
person, what kind of footballer you prefer as well?
I thought you
to have Garnacho
yeah.
1 is kind of crazy.
No, I think it just shows that I can take a step back and recognize players doing different things, can't it?
No.
Of course it
Garnacho
can.
is
I
not
don't
even
think
the
it
best
does.
player in United.
Yeah, I agree.
If
Garnacho's what?
Garnacho is not even the best player in United right now.
I agree.
Yeah, but I'm
He's
talking about
third,
this season.
Third, fourth.
Who's been better than him this season? What
Maino.
Bruno.
what 3 players?
Maino.
Maino.
You
Bruno.
reckon Bruno's been
Dallo.
better than him this whole season?
I'll take
He's been
Dallo.
better than him, yes.
Look, I'm arguing against
You
somebody
know,
who's got a different opinion.
what's his name? Rashford. If he puts together 3 games in a row where he's been good, just good, he'll take that spot off Garnacho. You know that as well. You know this as well.
That's ridiculous logic, mate.
It's not. I'm just saying.
I
Like,
don't- sometimes I like I agree with you in the overarching point, but sometimes your arguments, I don't like them. They make my arguments
because
seem
they're
worse.
funny.
Yeah,
but I'm
true.
just saying, like he's not.
I don't look.
Where
I
you
don't.
put him?
I don't need to listen to your argument.
You're putting
bro.
him somewhere here, but you've got the wrong guy there. If you had Mano here and just said, "Oh, my bad, I forgot Doku," I'd be okay with that. But for you to miss Doku,
Do you think
and then
Garnacho
put
is a better player
Garnacho-
than Doku?
No, for me, Doku's
Do
the
you
best
think-
youngster in the league right now.
What the hell was the list, cuz?
Yeah, but what my list
how
is
can you
based.
say but?
My list is based off what people have done this season as well.
But the list
Otherwise,
was...
I would have put Enciso in there. I would have put Lavi in there.
You
No,
could
but
What's
you
the point of
didn't-
putting them guys
You
in
could
there?
have put him in
1 to 10,
there. The
there was no
question
Doku.
was, make the best list of players under
Yeah, but
21.
you-
It wasn't best right
Yeah,
now.
but
It
you're,
wasn't...
you're now that's
Yeah.
your interpretation, right?
But what-
you putting Lavi in there. How could Lavi? Why is Lavi in there? Because of
he's-
last season.
It's
Yeah.
about the best players under 21.
Oh, but you can
Okay.
use this argument now
What do you mean?
about Lavia.
What argument?
He didn't have love.
I didn't have Lavia.
No, but I'm saying he's using the argument I said because I didn't watch him and he didn't play this year.
That's
He's
not-
now
I
using-
don't
what are
think
you
that's the
talking
argument he's
about?
going for.
Using
But
it now.
What is this guy? What is
No,
this
no,
guy
no, no.
talking
Leave
about?
Lavia. Leave it.
Okay.
You're trying to hook onto the Lavia thing. I'm saying to you, you put Bradley in your list.
Yeah.
How can you remember Bradley more than Doku this year?
True.
You reckon Doku has had bigger
No, I'm
performances
just asking
than
you a
Bradley?
question.
I'm answering your question.
You're asking me
I
a
think
question.
Doku
you're
is a
not
better
answering.
player than Garnacho. I feel as though
Yeah, of course.
he's got more talent. He's performances this season. If we're talking about Garnacho, like you talk about playing in a shit team, a player might look better. Yeah, Doku's going to get... If Doku played for United, he'd probably be number one by far. Like,
Yeah.
he'd be here.
Because he's a more talented player.
You would have
'Cause
done the
he's
list
better.
hard.
Yeah.
You would have done
And the list
you
was
would
the
have done
best
list like
players
this.
under 21.
Yeah.
For you,
But-
you
Stop saying yeah.
No, but you're not listening to my argument. You're putting your argument in front of my argument and saying
But
I
I
should
don't
argue
have...
this.
I'm not
you
answering a
didn't
different
put
question
Doku
to you.
in the whole list.
We're answering the same question.
So you're telling me in this question, it's acceptable to put players in that haven't played at all
This season, yeah. If
because you've done it. That's why.
But is
the question
the question the best
right now.
under 21 players right now, or is it the best under 21 players this season? No, it's the best
Yeah.
under 21 players in the Premier League.
Thank you.
And also, who's
fair
having
enough.
the best season?
Thank you.
Fair enough. That's how I looked at it.
But do you not see that this is a big howler from you? This is worse for you to do this, is what I'm trying to say.
Hey, Riley, you want to come and sit here, or you want to talk your shit over there?
What is that? I can't read it.
Oh, shit. Sorry, bud. Keep talking.
But then I don't get that right because then you
How do you not get that? You didn't put Doku in your 1 to 10 at all.
Yeah, but you had somebody like Enciso. None of you put in your list.
I put him in
Yeah.
honorable mention. Look, I can show you something right now as well.
He's
We've
not on
done
your
our
list though.
Yeah, but he's honorable
Do you think
mention.
he has to be in your list?
I think so.
I don't think so. Yeah.
12.
What do you mean? I don't think so. If you put Lavia in the list, why wouldn't Enciso be?
Maybe he's 20 times better than Enciso.
You reckon?
I agree. Yeah.
Enciso
I
performed for
agree.
how many games last season? Maybe
But
8,
I'm a Lavia stan.
7.
I'm a
He
Lavia
signed
stan.
halfway through the season, did he
my
not?
days.
No, I don't
look.
think so.
This is, you know
Alright,
what
so
this is reminding me of?
Don't say Brazil shirt.
This is MJ Brazil shirt days.
don't.
Well, I'll take that.
We're
Did you
going to do a
But look,
recap of the list.
But the thing is, right, Brazil
there's a lot
shirt
of
is
honorable
way
mentions.
less than anything you.
You haven't worn that shirt since, bro.
Brazil shirt
Don't
is
say
way
it's
less.
worse than anything.
That's his go-to every time.
it
He's
is.
only got one go-to. And
I've
he runs
never
it
seen you
every
wear
time.
that jersey, even as friends. I haven't seen
Bro,
you wear it out.
that's your go-to every
All
time.
right, guys, we'll recap our list.
That's
Then we
your
can.
only
we can.
comeback.
We
That's
can
I reckon you left
we
it
can
in
argue.
your
You're
old
like
room.
Drake. You know what?
happy
You're
with
Drake.
both.
I'm Kendrick.
You put it in your old room.
we can have an argument. We can have an argument.
Do you want to be
All right.
Kendrick?
So, MJ, recap your top 10
My top 10 is...
and do your honorable mention, and then
You only get one honorable
My
mention.
honorable
everybody.
mention
One,
is Oscar
yeah.
Bob.
so
which
not
I said at the start.
not Doku.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I said Doku is the best player, but in terms of...
Okay, yeah.
so
Oscar Bob.
Lewis Miley...
Say 10, 9, 8.
10,
Go do
Lewis
that.
Miley, 9, Braithwaite, 8, Mainu, 7, Bradley, 6, Rico Lewis, 5, Hoylard, 4, Malugusto, 3, Udogi, 2, Harvey Elliott, and 1, Garnacho.
If you swap Garnacho and 10, your list would have been the best.
Garnacho and what?
And
If
you'll
you
do-
swap
and
Garnacho
Miley.
and your number 10,
And
it would
Miley.
have been the best list
Miley
ever.
was his 10.
I know. I'm just
He
saying
just
that's how
made-
bad number one.
All right. Mine.
It's terrible,
you know
bro.
what it is? It's because his list was so bad, he's trying to leach onto anything he can leech
No,
on.
you didn't put Doku in your list.
So that makes
If
my
I
list
did
bad.
that, I would have been grilled
But
by you.
So okay, so because I didn't put one person in my list, it's a terrible list.
No,
But
no,
you
no.
had
I'm just
five-
basing it off.
You had 5
I'm
stickers,
basing it off consistency.
and your list is 5.
Because when I miss players in previous lists, you grill me Everyone does, but you grew me as well. So now it's your turn to be on the receiving end.
Pause. My top 10 under 21 players in the Prem. 10 Chukwuemeka, 9 Oscar Bob, 8 Jared Branthwaite, 7 Udogi, 6 Mainu, 5 Hoyland, 4 Gusto, 3 Elliott, 2 Lavia, 1 Doku.
Great list.
Thanks.
Nice.
My top 10
That's crazy.
under 21 players in the Premier League list. My honourable mention is another player who just made his first appearance today, and it's Stefan Bajcetic. I think he's exceptional, but obviously I didn't think he could make this list. But then 10 Udogi, number 9 Hoyland, number 8 Branthwaite, number 7 Harvey Elliott, number 6 Alejandro Garnacho, number 5 Lavia, number 4 Gusto, number 3 Rico Lewis, number 2 number 2 Maino, number 1 Doku.
Bud.
My honorable mention was meant to be like I effed it up, but it's in Cisco, but it was meant to be someone else. It was meant to be.
Just say who
But I
it
used
was.
him. But I used him in the
I don't
list.
think this list is real.
Okay.
Yeah, it's because he had Chukwuemeka.
Yeah,
Okay. So you just say in Cisco.
Chukwuemeka was meant to be on my honorable.
Yeah.
But now he's in the
Yeah.
list.
Okay.
My honorable mention is in Cisco. 10 I've got
Aussies.
Udogi.
That's just a Boslo.
9 I've got Hoyland. 8 I've got Chukwuemeka. And that list is already better than MJ's. 7 I've got Garnacho. 6 I've got Gusto. 5 I've got Fatty. 4 I've got Rico Lewis. 3 I've got Branthwaite. 2 I've got Doku, and 1 I've got Mainu.
But just quickly, who were the players that you didn't have that we had? Just quickly, so we can recap it.
He didn't have Harvey Elliott.
Harvey
He
Elliott.
didn't have Harvey Elliott.
His reasoning is just going to keep saying that he's racist.
His mum's racist.
His mum's racist.
apparently.
And
Yeah.
and
Then
who
he
else?
didn't have Lavia.
You didn't have Lavio.
But-
You didn't watch him.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Incredible.
Okay, Samuel. Who didn't you have? Anyone?
I had someone, everyone had who I had.
Where 3 people had him,
But
you
me
didn't.
and you just didn't have Garnacho, and you had.
I didn't have Rico Lewis.
Oh my god!
Oh, shit.
On purpose?
Yeah, on purpose. And I didn't have Garnacho as well.
Nah,
Why?
watch nobody
Why
say
no
that.
Rico Lewis? It's ridiculous.
Okay, real.
It's ridiculous.
I was doing it to prove a little bit of a point. If I was to do my list all properly, I would probably have Rico Lewis 10 and Chukwuemeka out.
There's no
For
way
me, I
on
don't
earth.
see the Rico Lewis gas that everyone else sees. What position?
What, is this friends and family?
I want to hear him. No,
Yeah,
'cause
okay.
I'll let you talk.
No,
I
you
wanna hear
didn't.
him. I did. I did. Did we not
That's-
stop the
that's
cameras
it.
and then
It's
you said, I said
ridiculous.
talk?
What position for you guys is Rico Lewis at his best? Right back or in midfield?
I think he can either be an inverted right back or an 8.
Okay,
So
what
whatever.
position
That's one
is
of his-
Rico Lewis at his best? Is my question to
What,
you.
does it matter though?
It matters to me.
Why?
Okay, so
Because I want to see where you would play Rico
Okay.
Lewis and what position he plays.
I can say either like a next to a number 6, not the number 6, but next to a
as
number
an
6.
8.
Yeah,
You're saying as an 8?
Yeah.
You guys agree? Is this why you put him in your list? You think he's an 8 or a fullback?
I put him in my list because of his ability and him playing 2 positions extremely well.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, no, same. I feel like he probably could play inverted best, but
Yeah.
he can also play midfield very well.
Yeah.
I don't think he's better at either. I think he could just slot into any of those just as well.
I think
For me,
he's
I think
fantastic.
I think if Rico Lewis played right back for a full season, he would get found out defensively. I think he's great on the ball, and I think he's a smart footballer. But defensively, 1-on-1, he's not going to be any better than the players we cuss for not being good defensively. So if his position is right back, then I don't think he's a great right back. I think he's perfect for the City system. But if he goes into any other system, I'm not too sure what his position is.
Yeah, but if he
could,
went
he
and
could be a
played
midfielder for a
if he
for a
went and
shitter
played
club.
I think he can be a midfielder
In a
for
3?
I think of course he can. Of course he can. He can.
That's what I'm saying.
If he's technically good enough to be playing midfield and starting games
And
in
treble
midfield
side
in
as well.
Champions League in the Premier League.
It's not a normal midfield though, and he's not playing as a normal midfielder.
Yeah, but everyone
For me,
else that plays
personally,
in that
they've
midfield is
proven
extremely
that they can play in a normal
but
midfield.
it's unlucky to him that it shouldn't be unlucky to him that he's come up through this City team.
It's
and
not
playing
unlucky
in
to
that
him.
midfield. Why do you think that? It's more so somebody couldn't go from playing in a regular midfield to go and playing in City's midfield rather than
Yes,
leaving.
Stones plays in that midfield. I think other midfielders could easily go and play in that City midfield.
I don't
You're
think
telling
that-
me a centre back
Well,
who's
it's
been a
not.
centre back.
Look at
Nunes
Nunez.
hasn't.
Yeah.
A centre back.
Great example is
he hasn't
why
been,
he's
he
not.
hasn't been good this year. But that's not to say that another midfielder that comes in can't play in the position.
Phillips, another example. I've had multiple years.
We're just naming players who have been bad. Calvin Phillips left City and went to West Ham and is even worse than he was at City. So I don't know if it's because of the system.
But look at Nunes. He's somebody who played in the midfield. He played in the midfield 3 and he was fantastic. He was very good. Nunes. Mateus Nunes.
No, of course.
He was very good.
And sometimes signings aren't going to work out. And Rico Lewis has been good in the City system when he's been asked to come in.
But he's only ever been in the City system, so it's unfair to say that he's been good in the City system. But he's just been good.
I don't have to rate him as one of the best players when he's shown that he can play in a specific system. And
but how many players are under the age of 21? They're going to show that they can play in multiple systems.
It's not multiple systems. The system that he's playing at is one of the most unique, specific for that position, right back to inverted.
But he also plays in midfield.
But he also plays in midfield. It hasn't been like that at City for the whole time he's been there. When he plays as a normal 8, he never stands out. He's never a standout player.
How difficult is it for players to stand?
So then what are we putting him in based on?
For so long, Rodri wasn't a standout to so many people in the City side. Not until 3 years into his career at City, people started saying this guy's a standout. So what I'm saying is it's not that easy for somebody to stand out when you have the best players in the world on your team. But for him to be this good,
you don't even know what position he is. And I think if Rico Lewis leaves City and goes to play midfield in another team, he doesn't stand out at all as a midfielder, as an 8. I don't know what good team Rico Lewis could go to and affect.
I think he could. I think he could play for Liverpool.
I think he should
be
in the 10.
So. Yeah, I said I was doing it more to prove a point and not have him in the top 10 because I don't rate him that highly. Do I think he's a better player than Chukwuemeka? Yes. But do I think he's done... I don't think he's a better player than Chukwuemeka. Do I think he's done more to warrant a place in this list than Chukwuemeka? Do I think Rico Lewis is a better footballer than Chukwuemeka? No. Do I think he's done more to warrant being in this list? Absolutely. I think he's done more to warrant being in this list than a couple players that I have. But do I think he's a better player than those players? No way. For me, Rico Lewis is nothing special at all. I think he's an extremely intelligent footballer, but he doesn't possess any ability that separates him from the best.
Intelligence is an ability. The same reason why Xavi was as good as he was.
Do I rate Xavi?
You don't rate him as the best midfielders ever, but you rate him as one of...
I wouldn't put him in the best list of midfielders.
You wouldn't put him in the top 20 midfielders ever to exist?
Maybe top 20,
Of course, so then you do rate him as one of the best midfielders ever.
Yeah, but not where he's rated.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
So I'm arguing why Rico Lewis shouldn't be rated as high as he is.
You rate Pirlo higher than...
Pirlo's incredible.
Xavi's Rico Lewis having his intelligence, his
I'm not saying
ability...
players can't be intelligent. What are you talking about? I'm saying as a
footballer,
he doesn't have
ability that stands out.
But his intelligence is
an ability that stands out.
What do you guys think Rico Lewis's best attributes, ability, what he brings to a game is?
I think his ability under pressure. I think his ability to retain the ball under pressure.
I don't think it's anything special. For me personally, obviously you guys all have him, so I'm the one in the minority. But I don't think he's a better footballer than any other players we've put on this list. He's way better than Garnacho, but he's not better than any of the other guys you put on this. Who did you have below Rico Lewis in your list?
Everyone except for Doku and Maino.
Yeah, for me, exactly. For me, Lavia is a much better footballer than
I think Lavia is a better footballer than Rico Lewis, and the only reason that I didn't put him is based off...
He's also started, though.
Yeah, but my thing with Lavia was just based off... He didn't play at all this season, and last season he played for a really bad team.
Udogie, he's much better than Rico Lewis. And they play similar roles for their team. So how you've got Rico Lewis above
much better than
Udogie is much. If he's in the conversation, to be the best left back of the year,
yeah,
and Rico Lewis plays in the exact same role on the other side, and he's nowhere near Udogie this season, how have you put Rico Lewis so much higher?
This is my
different
argument,
because one,
it's not different.
Of course, it's not. They're not playing in the same team. Players go from. It's the same reason that certain players go from a very good side to a slightly worse side or a worse side and look 20 times better. They're not 20 times better the player when they leave, but it's just harder to stand out for him in a Man City side that has arguably the best right back of all time in the Premier League. The midfielders that he has are 3 of probably the best midfielders ever in the Premier League that he's playing in those positions. So of course
it's not facts. You've got Doku, and he's got Doku as his 1. So obviously you can stand out and be in the exact same system. Exactly, but you're saying it's hard for him compared to Udogie.
In his position,
they play the same position, and Udogie stood out.
I'm saying Doku and
no, I'm saying Rico. You said it's hard for Rico Lewis in his position to stand out.
I'm saying in his position because of the players that they have at the club. That's why, not because I mean,
makes sense.
not because a left back can't stand out. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying because
What
of the
has
players
that got to
that
do
they
with
have.
him specifically
Because they
standing
have,
out
if
when he plays?
Udogie had somebody the level of Carl Walker in his position, if he had somebody the level of De Bruyne, if he had somebody the level of Bernardo Silva in his position,
when
then-
he plays, he doesn't stand
yeah,
out.
I think he does, and I think he's
no,
great.
he doesn't.
Yeah,
For me, I think
does.
you guys are doing. You rate him obviously because he's a good footballer, but you're just doing a bit of gas saying he does stand out
I
when
don't
playing
think
for
it's a bit of
City.
gas.
I've never watched City, and you guys can tell me if you have watched City and said, "Oh my God, Rico Lewis is standing out today." It doesn't happen.
To be fair,
I have, yeah.
It doesn't happen.
It does happen.
I don't know.
and even last season,
Yeah,
I was like,
I
this
agree.
guy's, he's
His versatility
Yeah.
and ability is a big thing for him.
Is Rico Lewis better than Udogie?
he's a better player.
I think he's better than
But my
Udogie.
thing is, this is my argument. See, you might be a better player, obviously, but I think if you have an impact on your team, on the league this season, it's irrelevant if you're better. If you just have an impact, it's different. That's why people would argue Udogie has had more of an impact, but Rico Lewis is probably a better footballer in just
I
in
don't
a
agree.
tougher team to break
I
into.
don't agree.
I
I
think
think
Rico
Udogie's a better footballer, and he's had more of an impact. So
disagree.
I don't know what we're. Because did you have Udogie higher or Rico Lewis higher?
He had Udogie 3, Rico Lewis 4 or something.
Yeah,
like
Rico
that.
Lewis
Yeah.
is 5.
I thought he had Udogie 2.
Nah, 3. Udogie.
Yeah,
3.
hold this just.
It's not an L.
Just
I
because
think it's an L to not have him in the list. Yes.
Let me take
yeah,
a
but
photo.
I could have had
You
him,
can-
but for the fact
you
that
hold
you
it? I wanna
put
take a photo.
Udogie 7 places behind Rico Lewis based on I don't know what.
And his ability.
His ability is not 7 places higher than Udogie.
But the list is the players are very close in ability. It's not like 7 is so crazy. 7 positions in this list is so crazy for me. I don't think it is.
What do you mean 7 places isn't crazy?
Like in this particular list of players under the age of 21, I think that the whole list is very close in ability. I do think it's very close in ability. But I think to not have Rico Lewis at all for what he's done and how good he's been and how good he is I think it's crazy.
Yeah, hold one of these.
I don't need to hold one.
Give the other one to MJ.
You don't have so many players, so I don't know what you're doing. Exactly, that's the same as me.
No, but I'm just
So
saying.
how have you
You
justified
said so many players. I said 2.
So the same.
Yeah. So what's so many? What does that
So
mean?
why would I get an L? How come you haven't handed yourself an L?
Because you need to take it. How is it the most?
Yeah,
It's 2.
you have the worst stinker of the
You have a player who doesn't play and isn't good anymore in your top 5.
That's pretty bad.
That's
bro.
true.
In your top 5.
You can't.
No,
speak
but
to
that's
me
a
today.
very no
You
docu
can't
on the
speak to
whole
me.
list is very
You
bad.
can't speak to me
Mate,
today.
I said he's the best player.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything to me if you don't have him on your
Bro,
list.
if you missed him on the list
What-
and
what
you
do you
say,
want?
"Oh, he's the best player,"
He's
that doesn't
literally-
mean shit.
No, he's literally on my list. I just didn't put him in the list.
How does that make sense?
I don't know.
He's on your list, but you didn't put him on your list. What does that
I
mean?
explained what I said, bro.
That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I don't think that's worse anymore.
Well,
I think your overall list is not great, but I do think that having no docu.
alright,
Right.
is the
well, if
worst.
I get
I
punished
don't-
for one play and he
Listen.
doesn't, that's fine.
I could have made a perfect list.
No, you
Or
couldn't.
Close to average
I
list.
don't think you
No, you
can.
compared to
couldn't.
everyone, right?
I don't
It's
think
not
no.
possible
Let me
for
let.
you.
Yeah, I
Let me
don't
say
think
what I'm
you're
saying.
capable.
Yeah.
I could have made a list that's similar to pretty much everyone here.
Yeah, but I
if
reckon
you're not even letting me finish.
Yeah, but I reckon you've
You're not even
taken
letting me
people's
finish.
players though. I can't
You're not letting
guarantee
me
your
finish.
list was the same list from
You're
the
not
start of
letting
the
me
night to
finish.
now. Yeah,
I'm
go.
saying if I had similar lists to everyone, I'm not saying the same players.
Yeah.
But people in the right position, and then I didn't put
The number one guy.
Doku even in the list, not even one. If I put him 2, it'd be okay. But missing him out on the whole list, everyone here would have been like, "This is terrible."
Who did you miss out?
Elliot?
He had him
Oh.
too.
Yeah.
No, but
That's
I'm
true.
saying if I had
You didn't have
similar
Elliot.
lists to everyone,
You didn't have
What
Elliot.
kind
For
of
a
You had
reason.
a stinker.
what kind
Yeah.
of he
For a
is
reason.
this?
Yeah.
True.
For a
That's
reason.
true.
What kind of what
It's
is
true,
this,
though.
bro?
what do you mean?
What is this argument?
Yeah, it's
if I
true.
made a list that
Your
everybody
argument
had,
was
what
good.
is
It was good
this?
until he brought up the Elliot situation. It was a good
Obviously-
argument. It was a good argument.
He had
Off
Elliot
camera.
2. I had Elliot 3. And
Off
you didn't have
camera.
Elliot at all.
Off camera, I think Elliot is talented. I didn't say anything. I obviously said that as a joke. The mum thing.
So why
I think
didn't
he's a good
why did
player
you put him in your list?
because it's a joke. I just said that.
Okay.
But you obviously, I obviously know Elliot is a talented
This is
footballer.
rubbish. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, this argument is
Whether
rubbish.
he's in the 5 or in the bottom 5, he would still be in
I was
there.
liking your argument with MJ before, but now I can't stand
I'm
by
saying
you
if
anymore.
that was me doing thing, it would have been Howler of the decade. But for
Who
some
did
reason,
I not
it's
have that you guys had?
I don't know.
Who did you have that I don't have? Chukwuemeka I don't have and
I
yeah,
don't have
Chukwuemeka.
Chukwuemeka.
And
I had to put him in.
I put
MJ,
Lewis,
did you-
Lewis
Miley. Those are my two people that I don't have that you guys have.
So MJ had 3 people.
Huh?
Miley,
Bradley.
Bradley, and Doku. It's 3.
That shouldn't be in the list.
Bradley's not a howler for having Bradley.
How
in the
is
list isn't
Miley
a
in
howler.
howler?
It's only
And
Howler
neither is
now
having
because
Miley.
Doku's not in.
Neither's having Miley either.
Huh?
Neither's having. He just only had one howler.
I had one howler.
One big howler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've had 4. You'd had 4 bad howlers, bro.
One.
Huh?
I missed out on thing.
Yeah, but
That's
you
a-
added.
that's
You
a
added.
howler.
Yeah,
It's a
but
howler, but I know why.
And then
I knew I was gonna cop.
and your other
sick for
howler
that.
is.
I knew I was gonna
is
cop
fatty.
sick for that.
Your
But
other
you know,
howler's
you know,
fatty.
you know what I do.
Your other howler's fatty. That's
Fatty
It's
is
not a
good,
howler.
It's
bro.
a howler.
It's
bro.
not a howler.
Oh, and
Having-
Lavia. No, Lavia is a bit crazy, especially when you
No,
have
but
fatty.
I justified it. I
No,
said I
but
didn't
your
want-
justification
your
gets
I'm
argument
not
really.
gonna
isn't
sit here and
consistent.
lie and be like, oh, I watched.
Yeah, but you
it's
just
so
lied
good.
about fatty.
Why did you want to
How?
sign the guy then?
Yeah, you
What
lied
do you mean?
about fatty.
Did I sign him?
I've said, why did you want him?
Yeah,
man?
why
You
we
clown.
sell-
Yeah, I
Celebrating.
can say he's a good footballer, but for me to have him in my list is criminal.
The whole point of the list is to say to have good
Yeah,
football.
but I haven't watched him. I said I can say that to save my ass, but it's better for me to just say I haven't watched him, so I'm not gonna put him.
But
in
you've
this list.
you
Nah.
honestly can
Nah.
say that you watch fatty. You can say that.
Yeah.
How many games do you
than-
think he's
more than-
watched
more than
Braithwaite
Lavia.
play
Yeah, I
this
don't,
year?
what classifies
Nah,
watching
you know what
somebody?
it is? Fantasy.
What
That's what it
classifies
is.
watching somebody?
It's fantasy.
How many games have you watched Braithwaite play this year?
A lot,
Just tell me a number.
like a lot,
How many?
How many?
like a lot of games.
Yeah,
How
just-
many
And if
Everton
it's not-
games are you
and
fucking
if it's
watching?
and if it's not watching games, it's
He
I've
apparently
seen him-
watches all the
and
other
I've
teams
seen
more
him-
than
and I've seen
Chelsea.
him play against the good teams, and he's
I know
been
he
good.
watched Arsenal more.
Yeah.
Definitely.
He watches Arsenal more than Chelsea.
I've seen
You reckon you've
Braithwaite
watched-
play against
You
good
reckon
teams.
you've watched 15
and he's
Chelsea
been
games
good.
this season?
Way more.
Just don't think
This
that's
isn't an episode about how many games I've watched for.
I think
No,
there's
but
a
you
lot of
made it
lack
a-
of consistency.
Yeah, you
whereas
made
my
it-
arguments have been
No, but
consistent.
it's not
my team has been
inconsistency.
my lineup.
It's
My
not
top 10 is
inconsistent.
consistent.
You know
Yours,
why I
on the other
didn't put
hand,
Elliot?
You had one.
No, but it's consistent. I don't
I think
rate.
mine's
I don't
consistent.
rate these guys, but it's like when I didn't have Haaland last year in top 10. You guys got onto me, yeah, and I did it to prove a point.
Yeah, fair.
I don't rate. I don't sit here and go now. Haaland's fucking the best. I
So
love
you guys
Haaland.
think it's better? I just put Lavia and Cap.
Well, you capped and didn't
No,
put
no, I'm
Elliot.
asking-
So
Yeah.
what's the difference?
I'm asking.
Yeah.
You
No,
capped
no,
for
I'm
one
asking you a
and
question.
capped for
I'm
the
asking
other.
you a
And then you
question.
capped
Yes or
about
no?
watching fatty. So you're cap. It's not like you're not capping at all.
This is false cap.
It's
What do
not.
you, how you say
If you're gonna
How
cap-
can you tell me what I've watched? And I just told you I've watched
Because it's
Fatty
cap.
more.
Because we know
than,
you.
Than
Yeah,
Lavia.
but-
I've never
Yeah.
seen
The
you
whole
guys
thing-
say, fuck, watch that. Did you guys check out that
Fatty.
Fatty performance the other
Never.
day? I've
It's never
never
been
heard you
said.
message
The whole
that.
thing
When do you
was,
say
I've
that? When you go
watched-
home?
I've watched
who?
watched Fatty more.
You talking to Amin about Fatty or
I've watched
because I've never heard you talk
No,
about
but
him.
the whole thing is I've watched this guy more than this guy, and I haven't watched this guy at all. That's what I said. It's not that I've watched every Fatty game,
But you.
but I know I've watched enough to know this guy's ability and his talent.
So you
and
didn't
what
watch.
he can do.
You didn't watch Lavia
What
the
he
two
can
games
do.
against Chelsea.
We've
last
said this
season?
like
So did
30
you or did
times.
you not?
No, I not like I said. What did I say? Who did I
So
use?
you're
as an example?
isolating-
It's like watching a Bournemouth player
So-
that is like. I'm
But
not
you-
paying
so
attention.
Solanke had a good
I'm not-
season?
I'm not paying attention to
Solanke
them.
had a good season.
He scored goals.
So you think he's had a good season?
Yeah.
Then there you go. So you can watch a Bournemouth player and say if they've been good or not.
No, it's because I can see his goal tally.
So you're
Like the
only
number.
basing Solanke being good based off his goal tally.
Because that's what I just said.
I'm asking you. Is
No,
that
it's
why?
not. Because
So
the
then
games
why?
I've seen him play in, just like Braithwaite.
But then
When he's
but you
played,
said
he's
you
played
can't-
good against good teams
You
as
1
well.
second ago just said that it's like watching a Bournemouth player. They're just playing.
Why am I
You
getting
don't know.
criticized for saying that I haven't watched this guy play?
Lavia did a double against Chelsea last season.
Yeah,
Yeah, they did, and he was so good in both games.
No, but I'm saying why am I getting what's the word? Criticized for not having someone that I've said I haven't watched.
Because you just
put it in
because
his-
what
you,
I'm saying is you're not consistent.
yeah.
How?
If it was you
If
haven't
you
watched,
didn't have Lavia and you didn't have Fatty, nobody would say anything.
Yeah.
You
But
still would have said something
No.
about Lavia.
no, I wouldn't.
You
have.
did.
I promise I would.
Lavia was before Fatty. I
What?
said I didn't put Lavia in my list before I said Fatty.
No,
and you
'cause
guys were
went
still
fifth.
saying
I was
shit.
the first person to have.
What?
I was the first person to have.
No, but I'm
Lavia.
saying when
I'm
Lavia
not
was
arguing
first
for
mentioned,
I was the first person to
when
have.
he was
Lavia.
first mentioned, that's when I said it.
You
I said I
mentioned
didn't
Fatty
mention
on the
him at
same
all.
go. I mentioned Lavia. You can
No.
run back the tape. It was
No,
the exact
we'll
same
run
go.
it back.
We had a fifth.
But I'm
You had a
saying,
fifth, I had him fifth.
it's not when you didn't mention him first.
Yes, he did.
At
Yes,
fifth.
I did.
I had
At
him
fifth, he
third.
was mentioned
You went
before.
last for
I had him
fifth.
third.
No,
He was
you went
mentioned
last
before.
for fifth.
We talked about Lavia.
Mentioned
before.
by who?
No, we didn't. Nobody mentioned it.
I forgot who.
Nobody
Fake
did.
facts.
We talked
Nobody
about him.
did. No,
We talked
I
about
was the first person to say
talked
Lavia.
about him.
No, I was the first person to say Lavia when I had him fifth. Then
Right.
you went last in the fifth, and you said I have Fatty. And then when we were talking
No,
about
when you said Lavia, I said I didn't have him in.
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
that's when I copped the
no,
stick.
you didn't cop
Before-
any stick.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
That's when the whole argument was.
No,
it
you
wasn't.
didn't.
Yes, it was.
Because you said
after
I
you
haven't
said
watched
Fatty.
him, and then you said I have Fatty,
no
and then
way.
we all said
No way. Roll the tapes back and
That's
have a look at
exactly
it.
what
It's
happened.
exactly what happened.
We'll have a look at it right now.
It's exactly what
afterwards.
happened.
You
It's
said-
whenever
He
whoever
said-
said Fatty,
He said Lavia. You said I don't have Lavia.
Right,
Because
and
I
then
don't
that's
watch
when-
him.
No,
and then that's when you guys make faces.
No,
That's
immediately
bullshit.
you go.
You said I haven't
I've
said
got
my
Fatty.
fifth.
No.
Yeah, I haven't said my fifth. I've got Fatty, and
It's
then we said
bullshit.
what?
As soon as I said I didn't have Lavia is when you guys were saying.
Not true.
These are our top 10 under 21 players. Thank you for
Bullshit.
watching. Comment your top 10 under 21 players below. We'll see who had the biggest howler because I think we voted it Spud.
Well, of course you have to say it.
Thank you for watching.